Well, a very good morning to you. Many thanks for joining us for the Monday edition of our Sports Today on ABS TV. Like we say, sports is life. It never stops, and so do we. My name is Ike Mokede. Well, top on the bill this morning, we'll be looking at Toby Amusan and Ese Brume. They are recently, and of course, our updates as regards to the World Athletics ranking. We'll tell you where they are recently. Based on the rankings released just a few days back. Also on the show, we'll talk about Ogenekaro Etebo, who has moved from England to Greece. Thessaloniki FC, we'll have the details on that. Also be looking at grassroots sports. Look at what's happening in Onitsha. The Remi Uche Soccer Challenge is still happening in Onitsha. 32 teams are featuring. We'll also be talking about the Lincoln Cup in Nnewi, and then we'll come back home and tell you about, not really, okay, maybe we'll say home outside the shores of the country. A certain Nigeria by name, Ethan Nwaneri, made his debut for Arsenal at the age of 15, smashing the Premier record for the youngest chap to play in the Premier League. That was yesterday in the game between Brentford and Arsenal. And then we'll serve you the results of league matches that played across Western Europe. That was over the weekend, and then we'll also talk about the team that is on top of the Oka South Football League, the Wilson FC. On top of the log, we'll get you one of the team officials to talk about the exploits this season and the challenge going forward, and also other things they want to do in the near future. But first, let's begin with our stories on the local scene. Let's talk about the Remi Uche Soccer Challenge Cup. The Remi Uche Soccer Challenge has been a regular on the show. Yes, Remi Uche Soccer Challenge is still at the preliminary stages, which are the results emanating from different match centers, while the last group matches is expected to be concluded this week. A total of 32 teams are taking part in the competition, sponsored by Chief Remi Juice Uchenna Anyadike, and the winner is expected to smile home with a sum of 3 million naira. Runners-up goes home with 1.5 million naira. Second runners-up, which is at the third place team, 500,000 naira, and the fourth place team is expected to go home with 250,000 naira as some form of consolation. Jimbas FC are the defending champions of the competition, and of course, what a way has been for them. They are moving, playing, doing the needful in the course of the competition, and they are waxing stronger. They want to win this competition back to back. We'll be watching out, and let's see if they can do that. Jimbas FC of Ihiala. And for the results of matches that played over the weekend in the Remi Uche Soccer Challenge, let's tell you that Lifelight FC lost 2-4 to Mmiri FC. Mekong FC lost 0-3 to Leeds United. And Upstars also lost 0-3 to Ado Babes of Onitsha. Akwa FC defeated Unity FC by 2-0, and Ndieshi lost 1-2 to Anambra FC Rover. So that's it for the Remi Uche Soccer Challenge happening in Onitsha, with 32 teams are featuring, and kudos to Chief Remi Juice Uchenna Anyadike for sponsoring that one, and also LOC Chairman Mr. Kelechi Austin, who has been in charge of the administration of the game, and also being helped by the Onitsha North Local Football Council Chairman in the person of John Ubendo, doing the needful, dotting the I's and crossing the T's as regards Remi Uche Soccer Challenge. The pictures you're seeing now on your screen is that of the Lincoln Cup in Nnewi, the opening day. Let's tell you that action continues at the ongoing 2022 edition of the Lincoln Cup. Yes, on Friday, we had the benefactor of that competition here to talk to us about the competition. That's Chief Ken Maduaka. And the competition started on Sunday, 4th of September, as Energy Bombers, you could recall, defeated United Rangers by 2-1 in the senior event of that competition. The Lincoln Cup is an annual football event bankrolled by Chief Ken Maduaka, and that competition has lasted for well over 8 years, getting to 10 years. And let's give you what it is, what is at stake at the Lincoln Cup in Nnewi. For the senior level, 12 clubs are involved. The winner is expected to smile home with 150,000 naira. Second prize, 100,000 naira, and third prize 70,000 naira. For the under 15 level, 8 teams are involved, 50,000 naira for the winner, second prize 30,000 naira, third prize 20,000 naira. And for the under 13 level, 10 teams involved, the first prize 30,000 naira, second prize 20,000 naira, and third prize 10,000 naira. Matches are being played at the Nnewi High School, Nnewi. And for some of the results are coming through at the ongoing Lincoln Cup in Nnewi, being sponsored by Chief Ken Maduako. In Group A, or rather the fixtures are for Temple of God are in Group A alongside Merit FC, All Stars FC, and One Mind FC. And All Stars FC and One Mind FC we're expected to play over the weekend. As soon as we get the results on the show, be sure we'll tell you. Also in Group B, Mickey FC is in the same group with Nnewi Youth Academy, Golden Stars FC, and No Skimpen FC. What a name, No Skimpen FC. And then Crystal FC, while Mickey FC is expected to take on Nnewi Youth FC. So as soon as we get the results of that one, be sure we'll also tell you on the show. For the senior level, Energy Bombers FC are in the same group with United Rangers FC. You can recall that Energy Bombers defeated United Rangers FC in their first game by 2-1. Mona Eje EJ FC, that's the name of the club. Also in the same group with United Rangers FC alongside Telford Boys FC and also Energy Bombers. And that club is expected to take on Telford FC as soon as we get the results from the coordinator of that championship, Mr. Jonathan JJ Igwe. Be sure we'll tell you on the show. But the thing is that Lincoln Cup competition has continued in Nnewi, and it is being played on weekends, Saturdays and Sunday to be precise. The venue is usually Nnewi High School, Nnewi, along the road as if you are approaching towards the roundabout out there. So it's a popular school, and if you want to see the competition, it's an opportunity for you to be there and see what's going down as regards the Lincoln Cup in Nnewi. Kudos to Chief Ken Maduako for pulling the chestnut out of the fire and deciding to keep the youths busy, especially this period. That's the kind of thing I will clamor, and that's exactly what we'll ask for on Sports Today on ABS TV. So we'll keep you posted subsequently as regards the competition. Let me also inform you that December 11th is at the finals of that competition, Lincoln Cup in Nnewi. We'll try and see if we can cover that event and also get you the feelers in the aftermath of that championship that it is for Lincoln Cup in Nnewi, being bankrolled by Chief Kenneth Maduako. We'll move away from that. Let's get to our third story of the show and talk about Ese Brume and Tobi Amusan. And let's inform you that Tobi Amusan has jumped to 5th in the World Athletics rankings. Nigeria's track sensation Tobi Amusan and Ese Brume has made the giant leaps in the World Athletics women chart from being ranked 43rd in September 2021. Tobi Amusan is now in the top 10, moving up to 38 places to be ranked 5th in the world, while his compatriot, or rather her compatriot and friend Ese Brume, moved up 32 places from being ranked 93rd in the world to 61st within the same period. Both Amusan, the results in all the international competition that we are involved have been simply amazing. And Amusan set a new world record in the 100 meters hurdles with a time of 12.12 seconds and became a world champion in Eugene, Oregon at the World Athletics Championship, and successfully defending her Commonwealth Games title in Birmingham. And earlier this year, she won gold for Nigeria at the African Senior Athletics Championship, and that was in Mauritius. But for Ese Brume won a silver medal for Nigeria at the World Athletics Championship in long jump and struck gold at the Commonwealth Games. Both athletes were awarded national honors by the federal government for their remarkable achievement for Nigeria at the presidential reception held at the State House, Aso Rock Villa, Abuja, and that was last week Thursday. So we say congratulations to the two leaping positively on the World Athletics ranking. When you talk about that of our ladies, it's been a great year for Tobi Amusan and Ese Brume, and more to come from these lads who are actually doing the nation proud in the 110 meters event and the long jump for Tobi Amusan and Ese Brume respectively. We'll continue to follow up on their development. Moving away from that, let's talk about our beach soccer. Two-time African champions at the Super Sand Eagles of Nigeria will square up against Mozambique, Malawi, and Morocco. All the nations in Group A of this year's Beach Soccer Africa Cup of Nations. It may interest you to know the Super Sun Eagles will be looking to claim their first African title in 13 years when they jet out to Mozambique for the 2022 Beach Soccer event. Beach Soccer AFCON, it should be the two-time African champions qualified for the tournament after Libya withdrew from the qualifiers in August, and Nigeria will be part of the 8 nations that will battle for Africa's top prize. However, they would have to see off all advances from the 3 teams after the draws that took place on Friday, September 16th, 2022. So Nigeria is in Group A with Mozambique, Malawi, and Morocco, and we wish them all the best after the beach soccer event at the African Cup of Nations for beach soccer, and Nigeria will be featuring. We hope they do well on that one. And quickly to football, let's look at the transfer window, a story of Ogenekaro Etebo, the Warri boy. Let's tell you that Etebo has joined a Greek club, Aris Thessaloniki, and the deal has been made permanent, and Greek Super League side Aris Thessaloniki FC have completed the signing of Ogenekaro Etebo on a permanent transfer. It may interest you to know the move put an end to Etebo's 4-year association with the Sky Bet Championship club Stoke City, and the 26-year-old penned a 3-year contract with Aris Thessaloniki, and the club have won the Greek Super League title. They've won it thrice, and the Nigeria international was loaned out at thrice during his time with Stoke City. And Ogenekaro Etebo spent time on loan at Getafe, Galatasaray, and Watford. That's the club in Spain, the club in Turkey, and the one in England, respectively. He has been capped 44 times by Nigeria with 3 goals to his name. So, acts of Ogenekaro Etebo with Stoke City. No, Ogenekaro Etebo is now officially a player of Aris Thessaloniki FC, and we wish him all the very best in his career. We'll jump to another Nigerian based abroad. Let's tell you about Orji Okonkwo, Nigeria Under-17 World Cup winner, now given a 4-year doping ban. That's quite sad for his development. A Nigeria striker, Orji Okonkwo, has been suspended from football for 4 years after being found guilty of a doping violation, according to Federation of International Football Association, FIFA. A 24-year-old who plays for Serie A side Bologna was initially handed the ban by the national anti-doping agency NADO Italia in June. In February, Okonkwo, who is set to appeal, had tested positive for the steroid Clostebol during a loan spell at Cittadella. And Clostebol, which the player said he used to treat a problematic knee, is on the World Anti-Doping Code prohibited list. I may interest you to know. And FIFA's disciplinary committee has now extended the NADO Italia sanction to have a world-wide effect, according to its chairperson, Jorge Ivan Palacio. Okonkwo's ban has been backdated to 25th of February, and he will be free to play again on the 24th of February 2026. He's been out for a long time. He's going to be out for a long time. I will hope he stay focused and come back as stronger. The story of Orji Okonkwo. And on the African scene, Bayern Munich's Senegal defender Bouna Sarr will miss the walk-off after undergoing surgery on his left knee on Tuesday. The 30-year-old, who has not played for the German side this season, has been plagued by patella problems for the past 2 years, and nonetheless he played every game during Senegal's maiden African Cup of Nations win earlier this year. And Sarr joined Bayern Munich from Marseille. That was in October 2022. That was October 2021, I beg your pardon, and has won Bundesliga titles with the club despite making 27 appearances, including 13 in the league in 2 seasons. And quickly to Formula One. In the Formula One, Alex Albon, Williams driver, is in the news, and he's hoping to come back for the Singapore Grand Prix coming up in literally 2 weeks' time. Williams driver Alex Albon says he hopes to race at the Singapore Grand Prix following the respiratory failure that left him in intensive care. The 20-year-old, or rather the 26-year-old, had appendix surgery on Saturday during the Italian Grand Prix race weekend, but suffered post-operative anesthetic complications and was put in a ventilator in Italy. The Albon is now back at his Thai Albon is now back at his home in Monaco and feels pretty good. And the Singapore race weekend after the Marina Bay Street Circuit begins on the 30th of September. So we hope he performs in that one. Okay, the test will start on 30th of September, and then the main event will happen on the 1st of or the 2nd of October, I should say. That's for Singapore Grand Prix, as the Formula One is gradually coming to an end. And let's talk about this Nigerian-born player, Ethan Nwaneri. Let's tell you that Arsenal's Ethan Nwaneri became the Premier League's youngest player at the age of 15. Arsenal's Ethan Nwaneri became the Premier League's youngest ever player on Sunday, making history when he came on as a substitute in their 3-0 win at Brentford. At 15 years, 5 months and 23 days, Nwaneri broke the record previously held by Liverpool's Harvey Elliott, who was 16 years and 30 days then. In doing so, the midfielder becomes Arsenal's youngest ever senior player, breaking the record held by Cesc Fabregas, 6 years, who was 16 years, 5 months, and 24 days. So this Nigerian you're seeing on your screen, Ethan Nwaneri, has done that in fashionable style, and he replaced Fabio Vieira, who actually got the third goal for Arsenal in their win against Brentford yesterday, and that was in England. And just to take this story before we go to our interview session, let's tell you that England's Calvin Phillips is a doubter for the World Cup with a shoulder injury, and Calvin Phillips is a doubt for the 2022 World Cup with the Manchester City midfielder set to pull out of the latest England squad due to a shoulder injury. And Phillips was named in Gareth Southgate's squad on Thursday ahead of the Nations League game against Italy and Germany during the international break. But the 26-year-old is unlikely to join after missing the 3-0 win over Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday because of a shoulder injury. The injury would require surgery that would leave Phillips facing a race against time to be fit for the World Cup, which is expected to start on November 20. So that's the story for Calvin Phillips. Sad one for him. He may not feature at the World Cup. You hope he bounces back in time for the World Cup. Of course, when you get to a World Cup, a major competition like that, all the players in the world will want to be part of it, and not being named maybe in the provisional squad by your manager is actually just be a form of blow to some players in terms of their career. But we hope he bounces back after the surgery. But time is not really on his side as regards returning in time for the Three Lions to feature at the Football Mundial coming up in Qatar. Is expected to start later in the year, November 20th, to be precise. You're watching Sports Today on ABS TV. Well, time for us to talk about Awka South Football League, and time for us to talk about a club that is making real reviews in that competition, and club football in Anambra State. Talking about the Wilson FC, and joining me on the show, I have a coach, Stanley Ozemena, joins me on the show to talk about the Wilson FC this morning. Good morning. Good to have you on the show on another short notice, and thank you for being here once again.
Thank you.
Well, one may say the Wilson FC, you've been on the show before, but for the benefit of the listener that was not on set or didn't watch our show on the day you were here, let's talk about the Wilson FC and the origin behind, the story behind the Wilson FC.
Okay. Good morning, Doctor. The Wilson FC is a new team. The originated from Awka here, precisely Akbono. Last year, the Wilson himself, being the owner of the team, is a man that loves this game so much.
Okay.
Along the line with his friends, he wanted to help those young footballers that roam in the streets. One of the days he's having his normal training, physical training, with his friends. Now develop that passion. If they can assemble all these young players and help them. So that is where, and the day the Wilson, this name came up. Then from there, you can see where we are today. So for people that don't know, or our fans that don't know the origin, the Wilson is not far from Fetch. It's close to us here in Okan South, Obono, and training base. We train at Anglican churches in Ifite.
Okay.
Obono.
So that's where the Wilson FC. So for the viewers out there, you hear it that now that they play at the Ezinifite field out there in Obono. That's the story of the Wilson FC. But let's talk about the bigger picture. Oka South Football League, the maiden edition. Nobody gave your team a chance. We are thinking Peace FC, Onkoraf FC, Fortune FC will be the team that will have the spotlight on them. Describe your experience in the Oka South Football League.
Yeah,
being on top.
Yeah, it's a nice experience. You know, when we started, or when we were about to start this league, many teams didn't believe that we can even achieve what we achieved today. So, but I will say all glory be to God for being with us all this while. Now, we had a good plan before venturing into the league, and we focus on our target and our plan, and as God may have it, He helps us achieve it. I must tell you that the Wilson and the management did a nice work helping, let me say, me, the coach, to achieve my goals too. And the boys will have on ground work really hard. And today we'll tell you the experience we have in the league is very organized. I must tell you, kudos to the chairman of Philly. Well organized, and if you say playing Premier League, we'll have it here because everything was organized, timed very well, and we enjoyed it. Being on top is not an easy job, but we did our job, and I must say kudos to my boys. They keep proving doubt as wrong till today. So I'm happy for that. It's a nice experience.
So I can deduce from what you are saying that it's been a collective effort by all the management, the coaching staff, all the administrative personnel, and also the playing personnel itself to achieve the story you have right now.
Yes, because it's not only a coach job. Before you can be successful in this game, you need all hands on deck to support, finance your goals. You understand me? If you have one department that is not working very well to help, you cannot achieve it. So I cannot just come here, stand and take all the glory. No. We work together as a unit, as a team.
Okay, that's the word, working together as a unit. Now you are champions. What's the next project for the club? Are you continuing in the Oka South Football League next season? And also, do you have another competition you have in the mind for next season?
Like I said earlier, we'll have our programs.
Okay.
The Wilson FC have come to stay. We'll have our programs, and we'll have a lot of scouting program we are intending to venture into. We have had many at the past, even returning back from a scouting program from Abuja. Okay. So now we are champion. It gave us an enabling environment to build for the future. You understand? And if next season we are coming back to defend our trophy, it's not that we are ending today. We have to move to our next games, our next program, our plans for the team, mission statement, and achieve all of them. And the AFL is around the corner. Soon it will start, and hopefully the Wilson will partake in it. So we are not just trying to end here because we are champion. Okay. And if we say a champion, everybody is also looking at you to come out and show the world you can still do this. And our football team we are here to help the young footballers achieve their careers, move it to next level, and for the team to also make things come out from it. So it's not a day job. We have a long plan for the team.
So for viewers out there, you hear it now that for some of you that may be entertaining fears that in the aftermath of this season in the Oka South Football League, the Wilson FC will not be featuring again. The Wilson FC will be featuring next season in the Oka South Football League. That should be the second edition of that competition. Of course, it's Sports Today on ABS TV. That's what you're watching. And our guest on the show today is the coach of the Wilson FC, talking about Stanley Chinwendu Ozemena. He is talking us through on this new kid on the block, the Wilson FC, and he has told us a lot about the team. I made mention of the fact that they will be featuring the Okasa Football League next season, and also got a clue that the Anambra Independent Football League, they will also be part of it. And let me equally use this opportunity to remind the teams out there and clubs out there and football stakeholders that registration for the Oka South Football League is about drawing to a close right now. And for new teams, it's 350,000 naira, and for the old teams at 300,000 naira it is. Let me come back to Coach Ozemena. Now, for squad depth for next season, you've mentioned something that is critical. You will play in the Oka South Football League, one league, and you play in the AIFL. For the squad depth, do you have the number of playing personnel that can execute these programs? Because I know AIFL is usually played on Friday, and then I will have the Oka South Football League on Saturday. Or are you going to do other recruitments to beef up the team?
Yeah. We had the plan already. Now, to make sure we manage the league, Oka South, AIFL, we are planning to have more recruits, young players, talented players, at least to double the number we have already in camp to help us achieve these plans we are about entering. So we cannot just end up here. We have, even as I'm talking to you, the scouting team already out there looking for young players. Okay. So we are planning to have more, at least number of 40 in the camp, 35 minimum, so that we can.
So when are we expecting this scouting, an open scouting program that people can say, hey, this is where the scouting program is happening, we want to come, you test them, and now take them? When are we expecting it to happen?
Once we are done with our Oka League, our final is coming up. Once we are done with it, I'll have just a little 1 week break. Then the news will be out there. That scouting program is already on for new players to join the Wilson FC.
Yes, Oka South Football League, the finals is coming up on September 24th, Saturday to be precise, at the Oka City Stadium. Just to give you a preview information on that one, based on the reports are coming through from the chairman of the Oka South Local Football Council. The finals is coming up on September 24th, Saturday to be precise, Oka City Stadium. Excuse me, that's where it is happening. So I'll be part of the program, be part of history. Let's see how we'll take football in Oka Dynasty to the next level. Still talking about the Wilson FC, what are the challenges that faced this season administering the club and also being the coach of the team?
Yeah, mostly the challenges we face this season, management of the players, young, vibrant footballers. Everybody wants to be part of it. Okay. And you can't keep unhappy player in the team. Yeah. So the most challenge you have, how to manage everybody, be part of the games you are playing, make sure and happy. Yes, make sure that everybody is happy, and at the same time focus on our goal that we needed to leave this trophy. You understand me? So it has not been an easy task for me, but thank God our mission statement was clear to all the boys. Play well, then you have the opportunity to play more. And don't forget the general target the team has. Get this trophy home. And today I'm proud they did. And from the management aspect of it, it has not been easy. Having more than 25 players in the camp, taking care of them. Kudos to the Wilson and the board members. They have been trying so much to make sure they finance these boys. And I'm not here to give wrong information. It's there. The camp is in Opuno here, and the boys are there well taken care of. So this is the experience we had. And you know how our country is. It's not been easy to take care of players, feed them, other necessary things required being provided for them. So kudos to our chairman.
I know managing players is a whole lot of a responsibility, having to keep them in camp and then feed them morning and night almost every day. And then you have for you, the coach, it makes the job difficult for you, having to ensure these players are happy, because I know every player would like to play.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about how to sustain this club. We are gradually getting towards the closing stages of the interview. We've had Jasper United in Onitsha, Udoji United FC of Oka, Trakas FC of Oka. Those are the clubs that came into being and now went into administration and no longer existing. It's now history. What are you guys doing to ensure that this does not happen, that the Wilson FC will stay for years and years to come?
Thank you, Doc. I earlier said that we had a long plan, and from the management, the message I'm giving out, they have a long plan to sustain this team, because this team have come to stay, and we are not just ending our program only to play here and remain. Like I told you, we are here to get talented players, groom them, market them outside there, and make something out of it. You understand me? So the sustainability of the team, the plan is already there, and we are almost going to 2 years now. So I believe God will help us achieve all had in plan.
In 30 seconds now, model of 2 questions together. How was the scouting trips you've had so far, and your final message, the message to your fans?
Yeah, our scouting program in Abuja was a success, and thank God for Johnny Mystics and our management that have been helping us, bringing our scouting program for us, and we even have more on the table waiting for us to leverage on. Then I will not stop to appreciate him. He has been doing a nice work, and the boys keep doing your work very well. I believe God will see us through soon. Message to my fans, our fans, we are having our final on Saturday, coming Saturday. The Wilson is the pride of the East. Thank God we are here to make you guys proud. We are calling all of you to come on Saturday, come and cheer your team and celebrate with us. And to every Oka South management that have made the league a success, we also celebrate you guys. It's not an easy job for the season. Thank you all, and God bless you all.
All right, we'd like to thank you, Coach Stanley Chinwendu Ozemena, for being on the show.
Thank you, sir.
We wish you all the best, and we'll be there on Saturday to celebrate the team in style.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for being here on the show. And to wrap up at the show right now, let's get through the results of our matches are played across our major leagues in Western Europe. In France, Auxerre lost 1-3 at home to Lorient. Montpellier 2, Strasbourg 1, Lille 2, Toulouse 1, Reims 0, Monaco 3, Nice 0, Angers 1. Elsewhere was Olympique Marseille 1, Rennes 1. It was at the Stade Velodrome. Clermont Foot 1, Troyes 3, Brest 0, AC Ajaccio 1, and Nantes played out a goalless draw against Lens. In Germany, Mainz played out a 1-0 draw against the Hertha Berlin. Stuttgart 1, Eintracht Frankfurt 3, Borussia Dortmund 1, Schalke 04 0, Bayer Leverkusen 1, Werder Bremen 1, Augsburg 1, Bayern Munich 0, Borussia Mönchengladbach defeated Leipzig by 3-0. Union Berlin 2, Wolfsburg 0, Bochum 1, FC Cologne 1, and Hoffenheim 0, Freiburg 0. In Spain, the La Liga Santander, Real Valladolid 0, Cadiz 1, Real Mallorca 1, Almeria 0. Barcelona defeated Elche by 3-0. Valencia saw off Celta Vigo 3-0. Athletic Bilbao 3, Rayo Vallecano 2, Osasuna 0, Getafe 2, Villarreal 1, Sevilla 1, Real Sociedad 2, Espanyol 1, Real Betis 2, Girona 1. And in Italy, quickly in Italy, Salernitana 1, Lecce 2, Bologna 0, Empoli 1, Spezia 2, Sampdoria 1, Torino 0, Sassuolo 1, Udinese 0, Udinese 3, Inter Milan 1, Monza 1, Juventus 0, Fiorentina defeated Verona by 2-1, and Cremonese 0, Lazio 4, AS Roma 0, Atalanta 1. In England, Nottingham Forest lost at home 2-3 to Fulham, Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Manchester City 3, Newcastle United 1, Bournemouth 1, Tottenham Hotspur 6, Leicester City 2 in an 8-goal thriller. Brentford lost 0-3 to Arsenal in a match Garnacho played yesterday. Gabriel Jesus was on the score sheet for Arsenal. Fabio Vieira also got a goal in that game. And Everton defeated West Ham United by 1-0. I think it's about their first win of the season for Frank Lampard. And he was so happy about the result. Well, that's the size of the show this morning. Sports Today on ABS TV. Thanks a lot for being part of the show. We'll be back here tomorrow for another episode of our Sports Today. From the entire team, my name is Ike Mokedi. Have a lovely week and keep sporting. Bye-bye now.